Hey guys, Ultimate Deadpool here on Ultimate Deadpool Extras. And I just have a small complaint. I just got through watching 2007's Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider off of Netflix. And I still cannot see why people don't like that movie. I mean, Nicolas Cage was a great Johnny Blaze. The storytelling wasn't terrible. The special effects were great for its time. And I mean, they could have been better. I'm not gonna lie, they could have been a little bit better, but they were fine. I thought it was okay. The special effects wise, the villain is by far one of the best parts of the movie because no, he looks like John Travolta, but acts like freaking Jared Leto's Joker. You know, like he's got that evil personality. Like you, when you just see him on camera, you're like, don't with that guy. Like you know? But people just hate that movie. And I watched some of the videos that say why that movie's bad, and all of them are stupid because they all say the same thing. Oh well, Nicolas Cage wasn't meant for Ghost Rider. He's much better as Spider-Man. No, he wasn't. I didn't like Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man and Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I thought he was the worst choice to pick for that. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me, but I do like him better as Ghost Rider. And, you know, while we're on this subject, I will admit, The Spirit of Vengeance was not the best movie, or the best sequel. But Nicolas Cage still put his all into both movies, you know? Like, he still put his heart and no pun intended soul into both movies. At least the first one heavily. The second one maybe not so much. But he still gave it his all. He still gave it his best shot. And, you know, I understand people don't have to like movies. I don't like the 2015 remake of Fantastic Four. But yet I like the other two. Even though a lot of people don't like those. Again, I don't know why. I think they're okay. But I like the 2003's Hulk with the Hulk dogs. Nobody else does. Because when I watch a comic book movie, I focus on two things. One, you gotta have great storytelling. And two, it has to resemble the comics at least a little bit. All three movies did that. All three versions did that. The 2005 and 7's Fantastic Four movies focus strongly, or at least partially strongly, on the comic books. I respect that. And that's a big reason why I like those movies. The casting on those movies is phenomenal. Whoever played Reed Richards did a great job. Chris Evans, you did a pretty good job as Human Torch. I do kind of like him better as Captain America, though. But that's just because he played the more of Captain America than he did the Human Torch. Jessica Alba did a really good Invisible Woman. And I can't remember who played Ben or the Thing, but he did a really, really good job. And the guy they got to play Bruce Banner in the 2003's Hulk movie did a really good job. I thought he was probably one of my favorite Bruce Banners, aside from Mark Ruffalo. You can't mess with Mark Ruffalo. But I didn't like Edward Norton as Bruce Banner. He didn't seem like he was that into it. Like, he's like, okay, I'm here. Let's just get the shot done so I can go home. That's what he felt like. He did a great job, but he didn't seem like he was that into it. And then Ghost Rider. You know, to be fair, I don't really remember a whole lot of the Ghost Rider comics. But from what I remember, the movie is a direct copy of that. His dad gets sick with cancer. The devil cures it, takes his soul. His dad dies the very next day. Or his stepdad, because I remember his real dad died, and then his real mother died, and then he was adopted, and then his adopted father is the one who's killed. But either way, it's still the same thing. The only difference is instead of him being adopted, it's his real dad. That's the only difference. And I don't remember the actress's name who played Roxanne in that movie, but she was okay. She wasn't, the best thing of the movie, unless you're a pervert. But she wasn't the worst part of the movie either. I think the worst part of the movie, and this is very hard to find, because I honestly love Ghost Rider. I think that is one of my favorite. That is probably one of my favorite Marvel movies ever. But I think my least favorite part of the entire film is the tour bus scene when Johnny's on the tour bus and he's kind of like, his buddies are all having a good time, and he's like, oh yeah, I can't drink alcohol because it gives me that scene they could have dealt without. But I love the first scene when he changes as Ghost Rider. My favorite part of the entire movie is when he first changes, and as he's walking, you see boot prints on fire on the ground. That is by far one of the coolest shots of that film. And then also when he puts his hands on the bike and it changes. That is by far one of my favorite scenes as well. I just like that entire shot. And then when he's freaking driving up on the freaking building or whatever, the skyscraper. Love that shot. But, and from a critic's standpoint of view, I can see why people didn't really like the special effects. But you got to give the credit where credit's due. They used what they had to work with. They did their best with what they had. And I honestly respect any movie company who does that. If you try your best and you do your best, I respect that. Doesn't mean your movie's good, but it's still, I respect the people who go behind the scenes and make all of these big blockbuster movies happen. Like Avengers Endgame. I love Avengers Endgame. I thought it was the best Marvel movie to date, aside from Ghost Rider and Deadpool. So, speaking of Deadpool, I know that there's a slight confirmation or confirm Deadpool 3. I don't know if it's true or not, but from what I've seen, Deadpool 3 is not a joke. So hopefully that's really good news and actually happening. But honestly, if I was to direct a third Ghost Rider movie, I would still have Nicolas Cage be, Ghost Rider, even though he said he didn't want to. Because the studios tried to get him for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he said no. But if he hadn't said no, then Nicolas Cage could have been in the MCU, and it would have been like, if this is just a scenario, it would have been like getting a Rainbow Bright Pony on Christmas. And I'm just pulling that out of nowhere. I'm not, into Rainbow Bright Ponies, but my sisters are, and that's all I hear about. So, and yes, one of them actually did get that for Christmas. So, but, like, if he had come back and, like, at the very end of Endgame, and done the penance stare on Thanos, oh, the birds would have been cheering, and I would be like, in awe and wonder and completely speechless, and Tony Stark would have still been alive. So, missed opportunity, Marvel. But, I think the biggest reason why people didn't like Ghost Rider was it didn't really focus that much on Ghost Rider himself. Like, it focused on Johnny Blaze. But then again, you gotta give credit where credit is due. CGI back in 2007 was freaking expensive as all hell. And if you wanted good stuff, it definitely cost you an arm and a leg. That's what I read an article, and I don't remember which one it was. The studio was originally going to have a CGI motorcycle, but they cut it because the CGI was so expensive because they wanted it so good that they literally looked at each other and said, nope, let's build a real bike. So yeah, that alone tells you that the director of that film definitely cared what he did with it, because all he'd have had to do is say, no, let's go ahead and make a really bad CGI bike. Um, and I actually recently saw a video. They pulled the original bike out of a storage unit, I believe. They put new gas in it, and they drove it around. And then I think it's on YouTube. I don't know, but I think it was made. The video was made like 2015, maybe 2016. Um, but yeah, and also you got to give another credit where it is due. The skull on Ghost Rider is a direct copy of Nicolas Cage's real head. So when he changed, that was actually what he would have looked like if Nicolas Cage lit himself on fire and died and burnt to a crisp. But, you know, and while we're on Ghost Rider's topic, I do admit that the second movie didn't have as much effort put into it, because I realized that they had to get a new actor for Mephisto, because either the original actor didn't want to do it or he passed away. I don't remember what they did. But and then the whole Danny Ketch becoming the new devil's kid, or the new body for the devil, or embodiment of the devil, that was but you know, still Nicolas Cage gave it his all. And you know, you do definitely see that struggle of, you know, trying to be, you know, Ghost Rider at night and not kill anybody. But and I will admit this, the special effects in the second movie are better, only because that movie was made in 2012, and by that time studios had found a great way to make CGI movies, or put CGI in movies and not kill their budget. Because Ghost Rider 2 was definitely a very low budget movie. But if they had kept that series going, I think the third one would have been a great film, because even Nicolas Cage himself said that there was definitely room for a third one, but he did not want to be a part of it. So, I mean, they could have still done that, you know, have Danny Ketch be, you know, Danny Ketch's Ghost Rider, and still have that. But if they had given him a cameo, like they did with the actor who played Carter Slade, if they had done that, just have him be a background character, would have been so much better. If they had continued with that series, however, they didn't. But I don't see why people don't like that movie. I can, but I can't, because, you know, I'm a movie critic. You know, I don't like the DC Extended Universe movies, and I cannot stand Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. A lot of people do, and that's fine. I don't care. You know, if you guys like him as Spider-Man, he was an okay Spider-Man, but he wasn't a great Peter Parker. You know, like, he had that characteristics of Spider-Man, but he was way too old to play Peter Parker. Because when I think Peter Parker, I think someone like my age or slightly younger. And Andrew Garfield just didn't quite fit that category. But and I understand, you know, he definitely did his best, and the studios that were doing it, they definitely gave it their all, a little too much in some places, but they still didn't. You know, the movie is still not that great to me. But then when you go and watch like a movie, what is it? The remake of Ghostbusters, okay? I'm going that far, okay? And you go and watch that, you're like, well, what the were they thinking? You have to say something like that, because they killed the classic. You just don't mess with something like Ghostbusters. You know, you keep it the same story, or if you do remake it, do it right. They did not do it right. And I know the actresses who were in that movie have said that they are freaking pissed because they immediately brought back the original Ghostbusters story. But I'm sorry, have they watched the movie? And have they seen the reviews that their movie got compared to the original movie? Yeah, I think it's safe to say that they've fucked up. But still, you gotta give credit where credit's due. You know, all the original Ghostbusters cast, or at least the ones that they had, you know, Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. They even got Sigourney Weaver to come back, okay? And she was already up in with aliens and whatnot. But they didn't get Rick Moranis, unfortunately. And they couldn't have gotten Harold Ramis because Harold Ramis passed away in 2015, and that movie was made in 2016. So, he died in 2013. I don't remember when he died. But either way, they couldn't really use, you know, Harold Ramis as a side character, even though I do think they're going to use a CGI ghost of him in Ghostbusters Afterlife. So that's just a fan theory for another video. But I gotta give credit where credit's due. The actors and actresses who played in that movie did a fantastic job with what they had to work with. The directing choices, on the other hand, and the script and the writing, they could have been fired. Because if I was to do an entire female cast, I would choose different actresses. I would have kept it close to, if not the exact same storyline. And I would have had frickin' Ghost of the Gozerian, because that's the whole point of Ghostbusters. It's Slimer, then the frickin', you know, slight mini ghosts in between, and then boom, big boss battle. Not, oh look, it's a frickin' humanoid-looking prisoner ghost in a subway tunnel that can somehow control electricity. And before you even get me started, yes, I do know that there's electric ghosts in the Ghostbusters video game, which is still canon, but to be fair, it didn't work. That part didn't work. And then the whole female human ghost looking thingy, just clearly an actress on wires painted blue with CGI all over her, that did not work for me either. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man balloon, it was a great great Easter egg, but it didn't really go anywhere. And, you know, yeah, Slimer's still in the movie, but it's like, man. So anyway, I'm getting off topic with this. Either way, I like the 2007's Ghost Rider movie, and I don't see why people don't like it more than they should. You know, I understand some people have their own opinions on movies, and that's fine. I'm not a hardcore, you know, oh, this movie sucked just because of this, or, oh, this is bad. And I realize I have done that with, you know, Justice League and some of the other DC movies, but that's just because they ruin my favorite movies. Marvel is better. Number one rule. Number one rule in life. Marvel is always going to make better movies. Unless they get a hellacious actor to play as Darkseid or any other superhero that DC has. But no offense to Ryan Reynolds, he kind of killed DC when he played Green Lantern. Because ever since he played Green Lantern, DC went pfft. And then after Dark Knight, obviously. Dark Knight, you can't beat that. But I mean, in all seriousness, you know, the movie was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy 2007's Ghost Rider? And what are your thoughts on the sequel? Because I thought it was okay. It could have been better in some places, but, you know, that's asking too much. And also, I think they ran into the same problem that Sam Raimi ran into when he released the second Evil Dead movie. They didn't get if I'm not mistaken, they didn't have the rights to the first movie, so they couldn't do it as a flashback. So they had to make up entirely new shit. At least when they did it in Evil Dead, it was still somewhat the same story, just with fewer actors. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like 2007's Ghost Riders? If you do, please let me know down in the comments below. And I will see you guys all next time on Ultimate Deadpool Extras. Till then, I will bid you guys adieu.